Stuart, first episode, we've actually been to the location. We've been to this planet, Stuart.
We have been to this planet before, yes.
Just never that angle, I guess.
No, and never with all the people half naked.
Well, you weren't looking hard enough that time we were there for 5 minutes.
Well, we were almost late for our flight because of that.
It was perfect, though. I'm still very proud of my picture. We should go again for more than 5 minutes, because seriously, those Battalion Gardens are beautiful and are worth more than 5 minutes.
We'll
Hi,
have to
Stuart.
definitely do that. Hi,
Nice.
how you doing?
I'm pretty good. Second time we talked today. We did a film with a guest.
Yes.
Got some things and bobs, and here we are for you all, doing an episode review of one of the best episodes of Star Trek, possibly. Maybe.
Not as bad as I recall.
Is that your official thought?
Yes. It's not as bad as I recall. It's not as annoying as I expected. But yeah.
So what episode are we looking at today?
We are looking at episode 8 of season 1 of TNG, and it is called Justice.
Yes.
And I was looking for my Batman mask, so I was going to come on with Batman, talk about justice. I am justice.
And I was going to strip off and put on a little towel, like a very small little towel, and be like, hello. No, of course I wasn't doing that. Are you kidding? Now, it's fair to say that the reputation of this episode is in some ways as bad as Code of Honor, but for different ways.
Yeah.
Like, that's kind of that's like the racist one. This is like the sex stupid one that no one like. There's a certain stigma about this episode, which when we watched watched the other one, Code of Honor, we saw the flaws, but we saw also the promise of it, the potential. It was squandered, but there was stuff there, you know.
Yeah.
And so going to this one, you know it's meant to be awful. And I'll be honest, I might have enjoyed this one more than Farpoint.
I did. Yep.
So I didn't know how I was going to pitch that until I. Okay, you took that quite well, so I can be like, yes, I did enjoy it quite a lot more than Farpoint. Actually.
It wasn't as Wesley centric as I remembered. You know?
Yeah. He's just the MacGuffin, really.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, this one actually surprised me a little bit on this rewatch. But oh well.
Okay, so I'm gonna start sharing. You can talk to the fans, any super chats, talk about why super chats, and I will back in a minute.
Yeah, I'm just gonna start by saying that I have my Georgian Bay
Ooh.
gin smash. So this is another hashtag justice in a super chat, and I'll take a big swig. This is the only one I have left, though. I have a beer upstairs just in case, but this is one of those. This is worthy of this. So
This is even more power to the fans, is what you're saying.
and yeah, I see 44 people watching, but I see nothing going on in the chat. I'm just gonna refresh my window. Looks like nothing is going on.
Yeah, it's plenty busy.
There we go. Now there are things happening. Sweet. All right. So we have some super chats already, and that's great. I'm going to tell you why that's great, because that supports the channel, and it also gets your voice heard, your comment read, your question answered, la-di-da-di-da. Plus, it comes up in a separate window for us, so it's all special. You're like the special people, and we get to actually let the world know what you think. And so if you want to help support the channel, you can do so by doing a super chat. It's a great way to talk to us. Or you can also support the channel by clicking the links down in the description. There's our Patreon. There's PayPal information. If you want to send us a PayPal, you can do that, and we will make sure to read that out on the air as well. And yeah, I'm looking forward to having some interactions with you guys and some fun stuff. So Fat Produce put $2 for a super chat. This episode is the Citizen Kane of awkward TNG. I don't think you should compare this to Citizen Kane in any regard. But I didn't find it as awkward as I remembered, to be honest. That Code of Honor had a lot more awkward moments than this one did. Joseph Petrick puts in €2. Seriously, nothing better to do on a Friday. Hi, all. Well, we didn't do one on Thursday because we couldn't, so we're doing it today. I'm just going to open this up because I might need this at some point. And so, hello, Joseph. Welcome back. Fat Produce puts in $5. Is this the first TNG episode with an epic Picard speech? Hashtag justice. Oh, hashtag justice. There you go. I think this is one of the better Picard speeches so far. I mean, we are only 8 episodes in. I can't remember anything quite as good as this one, as far as his speech goes. Good question. And Redneck level or lever 22. Men in skimpy clothing always gets my vote. Well, there you go. And there's a lot of that in this episode. Oh, yes, there's a lot of that in this episode.
Okay, I'm back. Although it's worth saying that the skimpy silliness is really only the first 10 minutes. Like, it beyond being there in the background, it shifts very quickly. It's just more, for me, is weird how much of a focus it is for those good, like, basically this scene that we're looking at. The first bit they beam down, it's way too much, but then it calms down drastically for the rest of the episode. It focuses on the real plot, as it were.
I will give it that. It's not gratuitous use of it, for sure.
It's just one very, 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 very written scene.
Yeah, this place almost puts Rise to shame.
Yeah. Although we never saw Rise in the Sex District. We just saw it in the Chill District, so, I mean...
Yeah, the Beach District.
Yeah.
But yeah, this I don't know, this one did surprise me, I gotta say.
Yeah, what would you say your overall... So we do a general... Obviously, everyone's seen it, so there's no point... Spoilers aren't a thing. What was your general basic overview review of it, then? Before we talk it through, and maybe at the end we'll have different thoughts.
Again, this one had a very TOS feel to it. Definitely could have been a TOS episode. Okay. And they went back to the no B plot, just the main plot is. But
they're intertwined, but also separate in their own way, which I kind of appreciate.
Well, they're too linked to be an AB plot, as far as I'm concerned. Okay. It's all one main plot.
But it's not just like one story. It's one story with two branches that are distinct.
Well, yeah, I mean, yeah, but the thing we say about TOS is the fact that there's never an A and B plot really, but there are moments where they're on the planet and then you see the scenes of the ship and somebody's attacking the ship or there's a force field around the ship or the Klingons are coming and you got to move the ship, which is still links in, and that's exactly what this is. It's just a tie-in with the main storyline. So, but yeah, it wasn't as bad as I thought. It wasn't as Wesley centric as I expected it to be. From what I had remembered, and it was actually a little bit tamer than I remember as far as the outfits and stuff go. So I rather enjoyed it this time. I didn't think I would, as you can tell by my description there. We're going to be looking at episode Justice. Yes, even this one. Yeah. So I said maybe you guys can show up to change my mind, but I don't know. It wasn't as bad as I expected.
Yeah, I last episode was the one we looked at on Tuesday, whichever day. Story where there's this alien going through the ship, Picard gets taken over. I'm having fonder thoughts, but rewatching it doesn't quite work for me. This one, I only really remembered the intro in the place and the idea of the space station, creature, whatever. But I thought the moral question was so well handled that it's a really interesting tale, and I'll say that. But I was pretty engaged. I definitely enjoyed it more than last week's.
Yeah,
I thought it was actually quite a lot stronger.
Having rewatched this, as you said, I do enjoy this more than Encounter at Farpoint, to be honest.
It's actually a tighter story. Like
it has a very like Star Trek feel to it. It's got the Star Trek essence. So
I think, and again, kind of summarising the end, but it's quite fun sort of talking generalities. When Picard gets going at the end, it feels much more mature than TOS Trek. Like, this is a new level of mature. The start bit feels like TOS immature funsies, and at the end it's in really mature, like, this is TOS but we've aged 20 years. We're going to do it properly. I just think to fix it, all we have to do is like change the first 10 minutes. There isn't that, you know what I mean? Like, it wouldn't take too much. And to be fair, it'd be interesting to see like an edit where you just remove like 10 minutes. Like, to be fair, you could probably just do a fan re-edit and just streamline it a little bit, and that might all be all you need, really.
Yeah, I didn't even think it needed that, to be honest. I rather enjoyed all the cute kind of aspects of this one as well. Everybody's snide little smirks and smiles.
Let's get into the specifics then, because I feel like we should go on. So, stop to premiere.
Well, while you're doing that, Fat Produce puts in $2.
Hey.
I'm expecting Boothby to walk by, being all crotchety. Yeah, it's definitely it's Starfleet. It's Starfleet headquarters, and we've been there. Myself, as we were talking about at the beginning of this, we almost missed our flight though. But Mark Lawrence, who might be here, I don't know. Mark Lawrence is awesome. He took us there. We were there for like 5 minutes. Got our picture in front of the thing. We each have a picture of ourselves there, and we didn't get one together though. I don't think. No, which is dumb.
And we both had to relax as we were so like, right, picture. Okay, go. It was literally that.
Right?
The picture's very... Yeah, it's pretty funny.
Yeah.
Pretty funny.
And I was wearing my Defend Cybertron t-shirt for some reason. I should have had something more Star Trek, but whatever. That's okay. And we almost missed our plane on the way to from LA to Denver. We literally got on the last minute. We were the last seat on the plane.
Yep.
And we were scrambling the whole time. Yeah.
It was great. So,
I think that was because... Oh, sorry. I was going to say, I think that was because I screwed up the flight time.
No, it's because we underestimated the time between where we were going to LAX by like half an hour. There was just a big traffic jam on one highway, which delayed us about 10 minutes, and then back on 10
security.
minutes.
And security at the airport.
The line was annoying, but it was quick. Like, there was little bits of unexpected. We just didn't give ourselves enough leeway by about half an hour. Yeah. But if everything had been smooth, it would have been there. So it was just one of those, like, life
Plus, we had to wait for it to open. We got there and it wasn't open yet. We had to wait out front for like half an hour or so. That's what screwed us up, I think.
Yeah, it's just... Anyway, one of those things. So, we start off...
in the Rubicon star system.
Oh, cool. And they're going to an M-class planet, and you get a cool shot of Picard looking up. Some good cinematography in this episode, I'll say. And the VO is basically, what an amazing place. It's pretty much flawless. People are having such a good time. It's just, could not be better. And then the crew comes in. It's like, it's as good as you said, number one. Oh, yes, sir. Just as good. And one of them is like, they do a lot of sex. And they're like, ooh. And that's kind
of
the
intro. Drop of a hat.
Yeah, make love at the drop of the hat. It's like, damn. I didn't realize they were going to so bluntly say it. I was quite like, oh my, oh my.
I love how Beverly comes on and, Troy and Picard are talking and she kind of interrupts them. And Troy's like, yeah, she has something very important to discuss with you. Like, she read her mind or her feelings. It was like, why are you speaking for her?
She'll tell you in 1 second.
Yeah. Then it goes on to talk about the crew needs shore leave. Anyway. And no negatives to report. None.
Yes.
Because they went through all the good things, and Picard's like, there's got to be something bad. None, sir. It's like, really?
Yeah. And I like it because it's actually a fun intro. If they didn't have the sex reference, it would be on the level. That makes a bit weird. But it's a fun mystery of, well, this planet's too perfect. What's it going to be? Like, it's a good, intriguing start, actually. Because you never get this sort of perfect feel. And the entire cast on the bridge. Which I noticed a few times. It's like everyone.
Yeah.
Just everyone. It's a very full bridge.
Just one second.
Okay. Hi, guys. I'll talk to you all for a minute. Dan 23. The space station creature thing is later reused as a Space Station Season 5 episode, where there's memory loss and final war. Yes! I really like the episode. So I'm looking forward to seeing that in a while. Should be good.
I'm back. Sorry about that. All right.
Okay. Everything all right?
Absolutely. Everything's good. And then there's a whole thing about the faulty reading I was talking about earlier. There's something off the starboard bow. There's something off the starboard bow.
It's actually gone.
But then they're talking about it might be a glitch in the system. And then that's kind of just, all right, cool. That was a good little You
It
know?
it's a legitimately good intro, I think. It sets up a nice feel, a nice premise.
And they
Yeah.
said it had been there for a little while, so not just in the orbit of the planet. Because there's a line that said we've been tracking that for a while or whatever.
Mm.
Um, so it kind of followed the ship, I guess, because later they talk about the colonization of one of the other planets in
Mm.
the system.
Yeah, maybe. Maybe.
Um, but and then Wesley is told to join the away team to see if it's suitable for the young folk. Ah.
And again, Picard is not being a grumpy Gus. He is dealing with him just fine. Again, I mean, he's not the best with kids, but again, we're not seeing the, you know, the negative side of him too much.
Mm. No, that's true. That's true. I wouldn't say he's gruff in this one at all, really. Um, Good point. Anyway, so we get the title card, Justice. Dun,
And this great screenshot of two people making out is a great summary for the episode, or for this first bit.
dun. Yeah. Anyway, so they beam in, yay, and then they start running over to them, and Worf's like, Commander. It's like, that's all right. These are the two we saw earlier. It's fine.
And it's very, very close time. Everyone gets really, really close. It's like, ooh.
I want you to take a look at her hair specifically.
Who's her?
The blonde, not blonde,
Oh,
curly.
yeah.
It's like a gray color, and because later she's on the ship, it seems more natural. It's more blonde at the front. It's kind of styled differently.
Mm-hmm.
It's like one was filmed at a totally different time than the other one. And I don't know if her hairstyle had changed, but it looks very odd here. The gray color is kind of off-putting. It's supposed to be like a golden blonde, I think, but it just doesn't really look like it.
No. But I have a question for you right on the offset, because they make a point of this, and I know we're right at the start of the canon, the new canon, as it were.
Mm-hmm.
Prime Directive, right?
Mm-hmm.
This is a pre-warp civilization,
Mm-hmm.
and you're just gonna chill out with them and fuck them. They're encouraging it, but they're not breaking the Prime Directive. But they are breaking it if they go against their laws. It's like, you're breaking it by being there. Why are you there?
I thought that was odd, and especially later when all the talk of the Prime Directive is these are not a warp-capable species. And later it's like, they know they're visitors, and then she goes up to the ship and she's like, "Oh, you hang out with God. You must also be a god." It's like, where did you think we came from? Keldon province or whatever the hell they say all the time. I come from a different province.
And he's an alien, and like they have no concept of this. Everything you shouldn't be doing is this. How is this okay? How is this okay? Any of it? Oh yeah, we just have shore leave on a pre-warp civilization where we don't know anything about them. Let's just hang out, put all our crew down there to hang out with all their diseases and all their whatevers for 6 months. We won't interfere with their cultural development by being down there for several months chilling out. What? Stuart, what? Like, honestly, that plays the most hollow and weird. Not all the promiscuity and weird moral stuff. It's like, that makes no sense at all.
Yeah. Well, we'll talk more about that when the Prime Directive debate comes up. But Fat Produce puts in another $2. Thank you very much.
Dude, killing it.
This species' reproductive organs have warp drive. Yeah, I would say so. Because there's a line, "You want to play? At love." It's like, really?
Seriously.
Really? And it's just, it is kind of awkward, this part, a little bit. Especially when it's like, oh, he's a young one. You know, what's the protocol? And Leslie's like, whatever you think. Okay.
Yeah. And I will say his acting is pretty bad in this episode. He doesn't know how to play his own feelings.
Well, yeah.
I think it was badly directed, because he's okay right at the last bit. I'll talk about then, but he's pretty.
Yeah.
He's not being directed to play scenes correctly. He's like sort of like I'm confused. It's like, come on.
Well, yeah. So she's like, okay, well, there are people in the council chamber your own age. There's some kids there. We're gonna go over there, and perhaps they can't run. Leslie's like, heck yeah, we can run.
I'm thinking, heck, why is that in the script?
Right.
But
and then when they're running, Riker says to Worf, "So when in Rome, eh?" And Worf's like, "Where is Rome? When, where, sir? Did you not grow up on Earth?
Oh,
I
yeah.
think you know about Rome." Just saying.
Well, and to go back 1 second before again, one more thing about the sex thing. 'Cause it's so weird. Before she talks to Wesley, she's like, "Shall we all play?"
Yeah.
And Riker's like, "Play," and she's like, "Yeah,
At
you
love.
know, yeah, but no." It's like, oh, first thing you want. Okay, woo.
I need the coordinates for this planet.
And then it goes to Wesley. It's just like that. That's again. This is such a weird scene. Like it's so.
Yeah.
Okay, maybe right. Maybe. Well, I'm surprised it got on TV first of all. But maybe it's there's so much intellectual, just talking in rooms later on. They were like, we need to grab people with dad ass, and then we'll keep them with progressively less ass, and then we just have politics for a bit, and by the end you're sold. Do you know what I mean? Because the ending to the start are so radically different tonally.
Yeah.
I mean, it's an evolution to it, but it's like, really? You started here? It's amazing me the scene got through, you know?
Yeah, I hear you. And what culture would decide to run everywhere? Like, what is that? I have 3 fears in life. So you guys know.
Okay.
And those are math, the dentist, and running. I hate all of those things. I get shin splints. I get cramps when I run. I hate running for more than like maybe 100 meters. I just I can't do it. I just have even when I was in public school and I was in shape and I was skinny and I was a rail, I couldn't run. I hated it.
Huh.
Got cramps all the time. I just hated it. So I hate running.
But you can walk damn good. Like, you could do lots of walking, can't you?
I do power walking. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's different.
Yeah.
But yeah, who would run everywhere? Like, what kind of cultural development idea was that?
It would keep you much more fit, though, to be fair.
Oh, absolutely. And maybe they were once like hunted by predators, like several generations ago. So running is just a thing they do.
That's funny.
Fat Produce puts in $2 and says, "Red alert, #justice." Cheers. All right. And Hellrats96 puts in $5. Thank you.
Thank you.
What's up, fellas? Remember, don't go into the long grass. There's raptors in there. While you're at it, stay off the short grass too.
You just stay behind the white lines.
Wasn't really grass, and it's got to stay behind the white fences, and it's because plants renew. But we'll get to that when we get to that.
And a nice, interesting comment from Devo77X. I think another race had already made contact, so the Prime Directive is mute.
I would buy that, actually.
I'm not sure that's how it works though, because if you haven't made contact, like,
yeah,
just because I know there are other races doesn't mean you've got a right to go in and be like, "Sup,"
Yeah. Well, and the intro says they had just colonized another world in this system, or like nearby.
Yeah.
And they detected this Class M world, so they're going to check it out.
Yeah.
So it's new. Now, there's actually one shot where they're all running. You see the water or the fountains behind them. And if you look in the background between the trees, you can see parked cars. If you zoom in.
I mean, are they not allowed cars?
No, they are not, because they run everywhere. And I never got the feeling they were technologically advanced at all.
That's great, because I was waiting for a real answer, but you gave me a real answer. I was thinking, well, of course, it's a real life location. So no, because I love the answer, because they run everywhere. It's like, oh yeah, that's really smart, actually. I didn't think that. That's good. I mean, the adjudicators can have cars if they've got to get from secret zone to secret zone. I mean, if a secret zone is 35 miles away, and then they don't know anyone's... That's a whole thing we'll get into in a bit. But what if the adjudication zone is 250 miles away? They can't run there that day, can they? So they need a car. Yeah.
Sure.
But
Maybe they have shuttlecraft of some kind.
Maybe it's like so just like their clothing, it's like a nude car in the sense it's got only the most limited need. Like it's a
Flintstone car.
It's
a Flintstone car. They run and to power it.
Well, two for the price of one. No, 4 adjudicators, 1 car. They run. There you go. Perfect.
They take turns running. See, that's how it works.
I really appreciate though that this is clearly the Botanical Gardens, but they do shoot it differently to Starfleet Academy. So if you're not that careful at knowing, they actually do a good job of not knowing it was going to be Starfleet Academy, I don't think, but they actually did a good job of doing different angles. And it is a nice location. Like, this is quite a long sequence, but it does give you the vibe. I'll give them total credit. It's a nice vibe. Yeah. It does its job actually very well.
Yeah, absolutely.
But those uniforms we know were bad for their posture and stuff. So they say, can he run? I'm thinking, can he run in these one-piece tight costumes where everything... Like, this is why
everything rides up.
Yeah, well, I'm sure this is why they ran a bit, like, not as fast, because it's like... Right, cast, how fast can he run? And they're like, oh, you shitty director. This is how fast we can run, and we're doing it once. One take. I
wonder how hot it was that day, too, because if it was hot, I wouldn't be running around in spandex.
Or did you notice how the sky kept changing from beautiful blue to just grey?
Like, I did not notice, actually, no.
Because it's meant to be nice and beautiful, but they actually, like, it's blue in this bit, but it gets really grey later. It doesn't got the same vibe.
No, I didn't notice that, so.
Small thing.
Then you see all the hippie commune inside. People doing yoga and like Tai Chi, and there's a massage going on. It's kind of cringy.
I mean, this is very like, if TOS would let you, this would be a TOS moment.
Yeah.
You know, can we do the most minimum? And it is weird. And this scene is like, oh, everyone's blonde. So the pretty people are blonde and white with, you know, it's like, okay. And no beards, no goatees, you know.
Nope.
And
they all look young. It reminds me of the Time Machine, the Eloi.
Yeah.
Because these are the Edo.
Yes.
I think they're the Edo. Yeah, but these remind me of the Eloi, which is the exact same thing from the novel The Time Machine, or the movie The Time Machine. You got the Morlocks underground, which are the hairy, ugly, disgusting, workers, and you got the Eloi up top, and that's exactly what this reminds me of. It's almost like there's got to be a darker side to this planet that we never find out about.
And good old Gamers is a really simple, easy thing. They have to have vehicles. Look at the construction work, the fountains, the buildings. They didn't do it all by hand. Yeah.
True enough. We just never get a sense of the technological side of them at all.
Like, it would have been nice to have like a Baku situation where it's all this and they walk inside and there's this big holographic display with all this tech. It's like, well, we use it for fun, but we don't need to go anywhere, you know. That'd have been kind of fun.
Yeah. Matthew DeFriedis puts in $5. Thank you very much, Matthew. Regarding the Prime Directive, in a piece of the action, did that society not have warp? That society did not have warp. When the ship crashed and the book Chicago Mobs of the 50s or whatever, and that's what they found, and they modeled their society after it. And if you read the Aliens, there's a book called Aliens of the Federation, where because McCoy left his communicator on the planet, and it's got the translator or whatever all their technology is based on. When Starfleet goes back to that planet, literally like 10-15 years later, there's like Starfleet signals. They're wearing Starfleet style uniforms because they're very imitative. So they used the communicator, broke it apart, and like learned a lot from it, and created like a little society of Starfleet. I forget the name of the book though.
That'd have been a cool sequel episode for sure, or an animated series. That'd been kind of cool.
Yeah, that would have been a great one for TNG to go back and visit. Yeah.
The TOS planet.
Yeah.
But everything's like half wrong, like almost the same, like different fabric, same pattern. Would be kind of cool. That'd be fun. I want one little inappropriate thing. This next shot after the oil, the dude's package is right there. I mean, no bra. Okay, one thing, but is he wearing boxers?
No.
Is he wearing a jockstrap? Like, his package is, I mean, equal opportunity, right? You have man pecs out there, you have women's legs, you have man package almost there. It's just this one shot.
I think they messed up on the cost. I think they messed up on the costuming. I think the uniforms the guys are wearing should have been for the females. You know what I'm saying?
Well, hey, equal opportunity, you know, feminism.
Right. Yeah,
but
absolutely.
I mean, just to be serious for a second, it does seem weird that society with free love would feel need to cover up anything. Like, why would breasts and male breasts be any different in a society where you can just say, "Hey, do you want to play?" Yes. But that's TV censorship.
Yeah, if this wasn't made to be on TV, I'm sure it'd be totally different.
Or HBO. If this is a modern HBO Discovery episode, yeah, refilm it on Discovery on HBO. It's just like, yep.
Yeah.
Everyone, no, both genders both wear see-through white G-strings. That's it, just for support, and that nothing else. And that's the gear, and a belt for like utility belt. There you go, functional, and a hat for sun. Moving on after post the oil. Back on the ship.
Yes. Data comes on. He says, "Sir, it's not a glitch or any malfunction that I can."
That was fun.
Whatever. Yeah. So not a glitch. Then they detect something. So they turn the ship a little bit, and then all of a sudden this thing kind of appears out of. It's a shadow or something. They say, neither in nor out of our dimension. So, and it's got a kind of cool design to it. We should actually do an episode on this. It's not a vessel, as they say later. It's some kind of city space station, I guess.
And this is a good scene because you notice when there are reasons for things, and there's a nebula, like for the first time in TNG, there's a nebula, and I was thinking, that's weird, but guess what? They cut into the nebula because the nebula helps to show differentiation of the black ship on black space. It's like there's a reason, so I quite like that. And yeah, it's actually I've always liked this. I've always liked this visual. It's there, it's not there, it's just the light pass. It's interesting, it's a shape, but it's not. Like, as a concept, this was a really great sci-fi, interesting concept. It's minimalist, you know?
Yeah.
No explanation, but the visual is enough, you know? Speaking of visual, though, before you do a super chat, I'm glad you got a still of this, but we know that the front of the ship, the front of the view screen is taken out a lot of the time. They don't need it for filming back then because you put cameras there. And in this shot, and it'll get back to the live in a minute, this one woman on Picard's back looking, they show the top of the view screen, and you can see a light panel that is, like, the ceiling is not properly put back together. The seams aren't properly done, because that is a seam line where they just take it out. And you can see where you're not really meant to see that high up on the view screen bridge area. This is, again, just the set. And it's like, ooh, that's not quite right. So
No. Because after Geordi looks at it with his visor, there's another shot from Picard from behind when you see the top of the set. And that's right. See it?
Oh, okay. Well, that's weird then, because it looks dodgy until you say that. Okay, cool. Yay, phew.
Yeah.
Whew. Okay. I was like,
but
Well,
so this is.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry.
Well, are you going to talk about Geordi's visor thing? Because I'm glad you mentioned that.
I'm just going to say that now.
Please do.
This is where Picard orders Geordi to go have a real look.
Yep.
And so he goes down to one of the forward or starboard observation windows, I guess, and takes a look at it and says it's not really there, according to Geordi. He's never seen anything like it. It's not really there, which is basically what their sensors already told them. Sensors read it as half there is one of the lines. So no real new information, but it's cool that they actually go take a look out the window. That was actually kind of cool. I like that.
I loved it to bits because you again think back to Discovery, and they have the real window. And okay, whatever, fine. But these guys were smart enough that this is a view screen. Whereas in an episode of Discovery, they say Saru used his eyes to zoom in a view screen. And it's like, you understand the view screen is projecting an image of a limited resolution. Getting close to it, still the same resolution. You can't zoom in into a digital image with your own eyes. Nonsensical. It's showing a lack of intelligence. This, they understood. View screen. He can't see anything more than the screen is showing him. So he goes to an actual window, and boom, he's like, that was so intelligent, so unneeded, but so smart and real, and just makes Discovery again look absurd. And it's just, and they wrote in the script, he goes to an effing window.
Well, and they were trying to show how important his character is, with the visor and there's an episode later, I don't know which season it is, I think it's 1 or 2, where they actually see a lot of see what he sees.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
And I remember the trailer, the bumper for that, like next time on TNG, and it looks like the whole episode's going to be from Geordie Vision almost, because you get this. So it is cool that they are trying to make the characters each have their own thing going on, and that's good. That's good. So
before you do the super chat, Tenzagari says the Enterprise sensors should be capable of scanning the same thing as his visor. Yes, but they're calibrated different. You know, there's every spectrum, and beyond that, even if they're showing readings, so has to interpret them. Whereas he's seeing them in a unique way through a human's brain, his sensory input, his engineering input. Like
he's been used to that his whole life, so he'd have a different take on it then.
Yeah, because I mean, a pad of information is like, I'm seeing this, or he's like, oh, as an engineer, I can make deductions. You know. So there's a difference. So I agree, but at the same token, there is something else he's bringing to the table.
And to be fair, as I just said, he said the exact same thing. They said the sensors reader is half there, neither in nor out of our dimension. And then Geordie's like, "This is nothing I've ever seen before. It's not like it's not really there." It's like, well, that's exactly what the sensors just told us. Thanks, buddy.
But it's still smart.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Even if redundant. That's
fine. Time filler.
I didn't even notice that, honestly. And I noticed those things. I didn't feel that first time round. It just felt like the captain is going through the checklist. This is what would really happen, and even if it's and ends up being not useful, you know. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And Fat Produce, thank you very much. Puts in another $2.
Dude.
Intergalactic space diapers. #justice. Justice. I wish I had my Batman mask. God damn it.
Yes, look at that package diaper package.
Let's not.
Okay, do you want to make another back to the women again? Another comment I thought, because someone posted on.
Yeah, go ahead. I was going to say we're going to see them again, but
no, it's out to this image where you got Troy and thing. Maria Curtis in the show for 7 years, awesome, and she posted like ages ago, and someone reposted that they made a joke with women. There's a Starfleet issue bra. It's a special thing that does special, like, pushes things up and has like they always have like a mini corset as well. It's a whole thing, and it was uncomfortable for all the women. It wasn't a good thing. And so in this episode, you're like, well, here's this poor actress with this big mechanical, clever design thing, and every other woman is braless just for the different effect. And it's like, she must be like, God damn it, my hurting things over here, and these girls are just people didn't realize it was that like difficult for some of these women who are like regulars, and it's just like, and here's extras like anything.
Yeah, there's an episode where she's wearing practically nothing, which, yeah. Well, anyway. Anyway, so an orb launches out of this thing,
yes,
a little light orb, and
very
it comes
TOS.
through. Passes through the ship in multiple spots. That was actually really cool to see its transition. And comes up through the floor of the bridge, which didn't really have to go through the whole ship. Did it know where the bridge was? Probably. Was it just kind of checking out the ship, scanning? Who knows?
Yeah, it was interesting how on the view screen the thing comes past above the view screen, and yet it's below the saucer and then goes up. Okay. So it means
that was just what the view screen was projecting.
Exactly, and that's another little, like, this is a projection off a camera in essence. Like, it's a nice little smarter thing. It's subtle, but it's like these people thought these things through. It's not just like, you know.
Yeah. I love the line here from Picard. He's like, why does everything always become a something or a whatever?
Yeah.
It's the same line McCoy had. Why is anything we don't understand
it's
called
good.
a thing?
Yeah. And it fits in surprisingly well in this bit.
Yeah.
And kind of a little, something I never obviously saw before, but this actor, the one other guy gets a line, the guy with curly hair on the bridge, amazing. That guy ends up being lost in the Delta Quadrant on Voyager. He's the chief engineer guy. So I'm hoping it's meant to be the same character. But that's kind of fun. He's on 2 of the hero ships.
I thought it was the same actor. I wasn't sure. I was going to look it up, but forgot.
It's the same. It's a totally the same one. He's just like 7
I wonder if
years
it's
younger.
the same. If it's the same character, that's amazing. Because here he's a lower rank.
Yeah.
So
but
I
he's in
can see him.
gold. He's in gold. So
yeah, and he was one of my favorite, because he was in contention with B'Elanna for chief engineer of Voyager.
Yeah.
And that was a plot point for a while, and then he died. But
and then it was fun to see him back in Relativity, where he's trying to like date 7 of 9. It's like adorable.
Yeah.
That's why I remember him, because he's like he's the guy that's from the past.
Yeah.
And that's just fun. It's just, it's a nice little non-reference, but accidental. Like, oh my god, it's you!
Yeah.
You're gonna die eventually.
Unless it's like Tom Paris's character that it's not Tom Paris, but yeah, this thing Orb comes up to Picard and state your purpose, and it's like this loud voice and everybody shakes and and yeah, a lot of ship shaking going on here just to kind of emphasize their power, I guess.
Yeah, well, it's kind of like they're used to communicating on a higher level, so to like tone their own power down. Just the pure energy of them communicating is such that it resonates, is what I got from that.
Yeah.
You alright?
Yeah, I'm just gonna have to step away for 10 seconds.
That is fine.
And then it approaches Data and asks if he is built for information exchange.
And I'll continue from there. And actually, I noticed very distinctly this shot was like, oh, he's on the green screen. That's an effort, and that is pretty good key, really. And then it's because it's his close up, and I really like his pratfall. Like, considering stuntman, but I thought it was actually pretty, like Brent Spiner. You have to like turn off your brain to pratfall to not try and stop yourself. And I thought he did a really good job of acting that and just. Oh, and look at you see the damn ceiling. Love it, love it, love it. Love a good 360 set.
Love a good 360 set, you said?
Well, I mean, they have one shot of them looking up at the ceiling. Like, I love that. It's so simple, but it's like, yeah, there's a dome there. Awesome.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's a cool way that it communicates with Data too, attaching to his forehead.
Yeah. And guys, please do super chat. Like we say, we sort of rely on this to keep the channel going. There's 129 of you watching. 55 likes, please click like and let us know what you think would be awesome.
Although,
when
he falls down, it's clearly a stuntman.
But I think it's well done. Those are probably the best stunt person yet, because it's like it's a bit obscured and it's very quick and I was quite pleased.
Anyway, it's time to go back to the planet and look what I can do. Walks on his hands and. Oh, we're just kids. Ha ha, hee hee, ho.
We're all 25-year-old actors who are playing 16-year-olds. Hee hee, tee hee.
Do you want to play? Well, I don't know if I. No, ball, stupid. All right.
I want to play the balls. What? Is that what you meant?
Got a bat, and I got some good screen caps here where she's like, what's a bat? He's like, I don't know, it's about this long. It's about this thick.
Oh, I've used bigger bats.
I have too. I mean, bats are like what, that big?
Averagely, maybe not so much, but depends what game you're playing. and if your pitcher isn't good enough, they can take it. I mean, if the pitcher can't take a hole in one, home run, I don't know.
I had to actually scoot. I had to scoot back a little bit to get these screen caps because it's perfect. It's just like, oh good God, what are you talking about, Wes? Taken out of context. And
her face as well.
I know.
I wonder if even the writers understood that when he both played side by side. It is so bad. Although I really wish she was in it more because she's damn cute in this scene.
She's very cute. Yes, I've always thought that.
Should have been a main character.
I made sure to get some screen caps for her because I think she's cute.
Yes.
But Fleet Paw Swiftback puts in $2.99. We've hit 57 likes. Let's keep it up. Make Fleet Paw Swiftback pay. Yes, make all of our moderators pay. How dare they?
Click that like button. Click that like button. 62 likes. Come on, click like.
Got 127 people. Come on now, we should have 100 likes easy.
Yes.
But that's another simple way to help the channel is just hit the like button and interact.
I kind of was hoping though, watching this, that he would flirt with her. Like, it would have been a nice thing, and then she'd be like, maybe like, because it's so easy in their culture, him flirting is like, him trying is like, no, silly. Let's just play ball. And he's like, oh, I tried.
Chris Douglas puts in $1. Thank you very much, Chris.
Chris Douglas. Thank you.
Every little bit helps. If you can only chat $1, it's very appreciated.
And Tim Theo says, Trekyards! I say, Tim Theo! Tim Theo.
Is this yes, it is. All right, so you see Riker walk in, and he walks by these people who are playing with their balls.
Yeah. Yeah, fondling them and laughing and.
The guy's like, come enjoy. You'll find this pleasurable, because they're fondling their balls. I had to get a screenshot of that too, because that's just a joke asking to be said.
Okay, serious question, right?
Oh, sure.
He walks in this orgy room of normalness, right? He's grinning really broadly. He just got laid, didn't he? I mean...
Well, that's what I was wondering when they first went back on the ship, and Tashalar's like, at the drop of any hat. And then they go back to the planet, and the greetings they get, it's like, hey, like face to face, and like big hugs. Like, what did you guys do?
Everything.
How was your first contact with the species?
Second contact, third contact, back for dinner. But come on, I mean, his grin is too, like, it's not just like, you guys are having fun, it's like, that was a great half hour, gonna go see everyone else. Because he's the guy that would as well, you know?
Yeah. Hellrats96 puts in $5. I feel like we should be drinking for this one too. You should be. And you didn't hashtag justice, so I'm not going to take a drink. Everybody that super chat should put hashtag justice to see how drunk I can get.
Yep, this is an official thing with shows like this. You hashtag in a super chat, so it has to drink. And we still might do our birthday drinking stream Sunday, there we go, Sunday, and that is when you have all the power. Super chat to make us drinks at different levels. It's going to be hella thing. Oh my, oh my.
It'll be fun though.
Yes.
But moving along.
So now, I appreciate this scene with Worf, because the first scene where the lady is saying hi to Worf, he's all like, and I'm thinking, no.
That's where he says, nice planet.
Yeah, but I was thinking, no, you don't like human females because they're too fragile. That's later on. So I'm like, okay, the writers
aren't
did.
Humans.
Oh, but he does say humans. He's very in this current scene. He's like, humans are so. So he does, like, he was thinking, I didn't know if that was this early on in Worf's thing, but I appreciate that this is actually quite a fun scene, I think. I would like, again, Fraser's performance, I think, is just on point, and it's just like, well, Mr. Worf. Women, right? It's like, yes, but not these women. Yes, but sex. Yes, but not these women, Riker.
Yes, but I have to hold back.
Are you bragging? Anyone else be bragging? And Worf's like,
yeah.
Nah, bruv. Nah. I know brag. It's a good scene. It's actually a good scene. This is more balance, I think, where you learn stuff about them. Like, it's more of a character scene than just throwing people on people.
Yeah. That's where he tries to contact the ship, and there's nothing. There's no contact, and Troy comes over. And this is where Riker's like, okay, we got no contact with our ship. We should move our people together. And then Worf's like, including Wesley, the boy? Or no, somebody says including Wesley. And he's like, the boy? Just every time they say the boy, it's like so degrading. Why would you? It's like, wow. And then sitting over there is their chief of security, who they don't bother to tell that they can't contact the ship and we should get everybody together.
The first person you should tell,
Riker should be talking to her, not Worf. Worf goes up to her. I don't know. It seemed rather odd. Like, again, her character is not doing what her character should be doing. You know, she should be on this.
But again, they don't know how to play. Like, she should have been on the ship, I think, in this episode, because she would have been responding to the ball coming in, and then Data, and then you've already got Worf. You're putting all the lines on Worf. Have her be on the. It doesn't make sense. Neither are serviced properly by both being here. It's again, they just sort of put her in situations without really using the character.
I kind of disagree. I think you should have your chief of security on an away mission to a new planet.
Well, then Worf in the upstairs and have, like, say, Tasha be the one that's responding to. But like, you know, they obviously like Worf more, you know, and you can tell.
Yeah.
And I want to give some credit to Riker here, because despite this is very much a too good to be true, and they're enjoying the too good to be true, but the tone changes so on a dime, but it feels so more organic to me anyway. Like, he's like this okay, we're gonna think about this, guys, come on. Like, I like the professionalism. Like, I really respect Riker in this episode for what he, you know, I think everyone does a good job for the most part. I just like the some tonal shift.
Yeah. He's got a bunch of super chats, and they all have something in them, so I'm gonna have to read those. Area 51 puts in $2. Riker, I am never leaving. Hashtag justice.
Well, I mean, he could have come back and retired. You know, he could have had, you know, and to be fair, him and Troy, she got on with some people, he got on with some people. you have an open marriage weekend. You know,
Couldn't
screw
handle
Riser.
it. I'd have to, yeah.
Or have their wedding there, and then everyone's already half naked. Just
Exactly.
you know, not naked to stand out.
Rats 96 puts in $2. Sorry, I got here late and missed that bit. Hashtag justice.
Go back and watch.
Yeah, you'll have to. Fleet Paw Swiftback puts in $4.99, and I just lost the super chat. There it is. How much booze will the captain and commander drink for $4.99? I don't know. Let's find out. Hashtag justice. Hashtag boozy like Spike. Well, the commander doesn't have any, and I'm just taking swigs per hashtag like Spike or hashtag justice. Sorry. So.
But we are going to talk about Sunday what levels are. But yeah, we're certainly gonna. I mean, I might have like 4. I mean, that's the thing. Honestly, these super chats help the channel so much that it's worth me getting like 7, 8, 10 beers. Like, if you guys will throw the money at us to drink.
I've seen him drunk. It's fun. He's been drunk at my place. We've had some good times.
Yeah, because if we can get enough to support the channel, it's like worth it. And I can choose to delete the video on YouTube if I want to. If I make the executive decision, so it's just a live exclusive. I can do that.
That's true. It is true.
No.
Fat Produce puts in $5.
Fat Produce do.
Worf is like, I have a barbed double wing, Commander. It's for their safety that I abstain.
Oh my god, it's so true.
Oh my god.
No. Oh no.
It's ribbed for their pleasure.
That's a great point. Yeah. He's got a double schlong.
He doesn't though.
Oh, Jesus.
I've seen the medical. I've got the
medical.
I got
thing,
this. Yeah, the medical Starfleet medical guide. They don't. They have redundant organs, but not. It's just.
What a
discovery.
Why was that? Who thought that was a good idea?
I don't know.
Who thought that was a good idea? They should fire them. It's probably Kurtzman.
I still maintain the guy just has a piercing like a Prince Albert and he doesn't have the thing in, so it's just spraying everywhere. That's what I think. Anyway.
Simple answer.
Yeah. Jay Donaldson.
Or he got hurt in the war and it's split in half and it's like, that doesn't quite work. Anyway.
Jay Donaldson puts in $2.
Thank you.
Worf thinks this place is worse than Risa. Hashtag justice.
Didn't like Riser either, it's true.
Yeah, that episode bothers me. His attitude in that episode sucks.
Yes, it does.
Fat Produce puts in $2. Hashtag Code of Justice. I don't know if I should drink to that because it's not called Code of Justice, but it's a tie-in. It's, crossing over with our hashtag Code of Honor episode, so I think I should get a double drink.
I was going to say that.
One.
Oh, Fleetpaw says, Sam, skip the beers and go straight for shots.
Yeah, I think I'm going to be having Kraken. Spiced rum.
Yeah.
Coke. And so the Coke, the mix will be like cheaper one. And then for more expensive super chats, I'll have a shot.
I mean, that's the thing. For $10 for a shot, I mean, this is up to you guys. It can really screw us over. Yeah, I have some vodka left over and I'll get some orange juice so we can...
We need to check PayPal. There's a PayPal apparently.
Oh, super.
I'm checking that right now. No, it's not a super chat. It's a PayPal. It's going to be a super PayPal.
Dan23, I'm surprised they got this episode past the TV censors. Yeah. I wonder if there's any deleted scenes, because you know how often you do more stuff than you expect to get in, so that you can then compromise on the stuff you need to keep in. I wonder if they had like an open sex penetration scene, and they
wow.
They were like, okay, you can't do that, but let's have the orgy stuff still. They're like, okay, fine, we'll compromise there. Just like, Jesus Christ. Well, Gene was like, hey, I was the first interracial kiss. I'll be the first live sex in TV too.
I'm waiting for my thing to load. I can't read the PayPal right now. If you want to get the PayPal, I'll read the two super chats.
This is awful. I feel like I'm drunk, but I'm not.
Chris Douglas puts in $2. Is there no justice anymore? It's not a hashtag, but you said justice.
Oh wow! Holy hell! Wow.
Okay, hold on. Don't read that yet. I'll read the last one. Steven puts in $2 and says hashtag justice. Thanks, guys. All right.
We got William Fine.
Mm-hmm.
Did not just give 5 Canadian. 10 Canadian. Give 20 Canadian dollars.
Ooh, thank you. That's awesome.
Super kind. There's no message, so if you're in the chat, please let us know, because that is very kind, and believe me, that helps us some stuff we're doing on the back. We shall see probably in the next week or so. We'll at least announce it.
It has to be soon, dude.
Yeah,
We're getting close to the wire.
I know. It's about like 2 steps away from being done. 2 steps. We might like announce it next week, like show some people and then like launch it. I think it would be a safe bet.
We're probably going to mention it on Sunday when we're 2 sheets to the wind, but
probably.
All right, so let's get back to the storyline here.
Which I was about to make a joke. There's no storyline, but there is more of a storyline here than you'd think.
Yeah, because this is where we find out that there's no crime here.
Yes.
Well, how's this enforced? Well, we have these punishment zones that are picked at random. No one knows when it's going to be, for how long, where it is, and they're changed at random. So no one breaks any law, because the only punishment on this planet for any infraction is death. So you never want to risk death. So you're always on your best behavior, which is really a great way to do things when you think about it. But as we find out later, if a law is absolute, it's not really justice. That's the crux of the whole episode.
So I have 2 thoughts about this. In that it sort of works, but I think it's more than that. I think they've also bred into their society over generations. You just don't do crime, because if there's one area, right, I doubt it's like 20 miles by 20 miles. And even if it is, you've got potentially, we have no idea how big the society is. It could be literally like one city. We don't know. Oh.
And this speaks again, sorry, I got to jump in there. This speaks again to maybe they are super advanced, because how do they know when a law is broken? Because as soon as Wesley trips over the thing and falls in the flowers, you got 2 guys right there. Like, did they beam in? Like, teleport in somehow? Like, did they? Because they got to be monitoring it somehow, especially considering it's a lot of wide open fields in this area anyway.
Well, my note is, how do the enforcers know if they wait around, it's clear that this is the place to not break crimes, or not do crimes. But
yeah,
we don't know how big society is. Some. And how big is an area of crime? Say it's a mile. Be very even, right? 1 mile. The thing is then, if it's only 1 time per day, or 99.9% of their planet isn't covered by it. So you've got a 99.9% chance of doing something illegal and getting away with it. I mean, that in England, there's more of a chance of getting caught just by the security cameras and every, that's more of a chance than break a law here. If no one's around and it's a random time, so actually I would assume that crime would, lots of minor crimes happen all the time, because the chance of you being in that zone are so slim. Now, yes, if it changed every hour, super often, fine. And if it's 20 miles, fine. But if it's very sort of small and not often, then I actually feel like it's very, that's what I'm saying. I think it's also bred into them that you just don't do crime. Because that rule, if we had all of LA, right, and every 10 miles of LA, once an hour swaps, well, guess what? Most of LA is then crime-ridden, because, you know what I mean? You're mostly chance to not get crime. I mean, it's like a new drug from a pharmaceutical company. There's a 3% legal bad reaction rate is legal, because you can't have there's a certain chance of where, okay, this is an acceptable risk, and if you've got a 99% chance of not being in the death zone, you can do crime. So I'm just saying there's probably some other things to it. That said, how do they find Wesley instantly? And then there's other questions there. So I think it's a very surface level, but there's interesting debates to be had there.
Well, finding Wesley actually kind of makes sense, because they say here, does anybody inform the visitors to your world about this? Well, just stay away from the white fences. That's what does it. He goes over one of the white fences, so if they have built-in motion sensors or some kind of, that would make some kind of sense, but it's still a stupid law. And
then if no one ever does any crime, then at what point would you just not waste the time in putting sensors in all the fences? At some point, it's we have security cameras in highways, motorways that aren't actually active, because you can't have 100,000 feeds at the same time. It's not practical. So some of them just as deterrents. you know. So anyway, they're playing ball, sort of. It's kind of like what these actors can do, ball, because it's like having so much fun. Ooh, ee. It's like this is not impressive in the least. But it's
you gotta wonder how hot he was wearing that goddamn sweater.
So these actors are comfy, cool, letting everything bounce away.
Well,
he's like, huh.
Or they're super cold and he's nice and warm. It's one or the other. One of them is not comfortable.
Yeah, that's funny.
But dude throws the ball. Wesley goes to get it. She's like, no! And he like smashes into these little greenhouse things. And they all come up. I love his response.
Yeah.
It's okay. I'm fine.
Yeah.
It's like, no, you're dead. You're dead, dude.
But again, the chances of him being that zone are 0.
Well, he doesn't even know anything's going on, too.
But for them as well, like it was obviously it's just plot convenience. Although this guy's meant to be a genius, but he didn't see this pole. He jumped over a pole into a greenhouse. Like he's a genius. I think you'd think I'm just not going to jump into a greenhouse.
Just gonna let that ball smash the glass and then go.
Well, I mean, he didn't throw it.
He just wasn't paying attention. He was watching the ball. I think that's
just the way it's filmed is a bit like he didn't care, even though he's like he runs really far, so he knew it was there because he saw it when he walked in, and he ran really far. It's like we would not make that same mistake at that distance. Like it doesn't quite just small thing, but it's just like it doesn't. It's a sort of contrived. I mean, obviously it is, but contrived. And then instantly within 10 seconds.
Yeah.
In between him saying, "What's wrong?" and then she turns like, "Oh no, they're on their way." And it's like, how?
Yeah.
He just did it.
Yeah, it was a little bit sketchy.
Like, if it beamed in, that would have been perfect. Because at that point, you'd think, oh, damn, these guys actually have some...
Or they materialize in, yeah.
That would have been nice. It would have been like, oh, they're choosing to be this way with technology. That would have been great, actually.
They kind of remind me a little bit of the Archons from TOS. They're just kind of there when they need to be.
Yeah.
These lawgivers, you know.
Yeah, it's true.
I don't know. And then the one guy is even like, you know, I threw the ball. It's my responsibility.
Yeah.
And they're like, no. Did anybody see this? Yeah. And then she's like, he doesn't understand. He's not from here. And I actually like this part where the guy's like, you admit that you did this freely?
Yeah.
He's trying to be all like, well, I'm an ensign now. I'm with Starfleet. We don't lie. Yeah. Unless we cause a fight or unless we cause an accident while we're in the academy. Then we lie. The duty of every Starfleet officer is to the truth, whether it's personal truth. I could go on, but I won't.
I think he wanted to impress the girl. He was like,
yeah,
still got a chance there if I don't lie.
I think he said that. Did he say that once Riker and them showed up too? I think he was impressing them too.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
Hellrats96 puts in $5.
Thank you.
I guess they don't have transparent aluminum for those greenhouses. # justice.
Yeah. Oh, that's funny. G still 1980. That's where they grow the weed they smoked when they wrote this episode. Nice. I like it.
I'd buy that.
And this is a really interesting played scene because what direction do you give these two security guys? Because their vibe is really interesting. It's alien, but it's considered. It's sort of fair, but it's not like it's just our job. We're sort of sorry you did it, but we don't want to do this, but we got to. Like, I actually kind of like the acting. Yeah. It's a nice blend of weird. And for how silly this scene is, I think it's actually pretty well played across the board. Actually, I know. Would you agree?
Yeah. Again, I think everybody's got to stick up their ass on this planet when it comes to this stupid law. Like, what did he... There's no victim, really. It's a victimless crime.
But that's obviously not the
plants.
point.
The plants are the victim. I know, but...
It's like, it's more, there's a rule, you broke it, it's symbolic. You chose to break a rule.
I didn't know it was the rule. Well, ignorance will become a defense.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll get that later. But
it's interesting. It's interesting.
And I love... They pulled the syringe out, and they're about to... And Yar well, first Riker drops them to the ground, and then they pull out their phasers, and she gets the syringe. And again, she does a fantastic job at being a security officer. It looks like a syringe, sir. No shit, Sherlock. Exactly.
It's the same thing with that box. It looks like a box with the thing in it.
Yeah. I did a complete scan with my non-tricorder eyes.
Oh no, it's a bomb. It killed you. Sir, it looks like poison. Yes, it's poison. It's like, yeah, it's a really that. Again, I guess that's some of it. Like, why isn't she throwing him around? Why is Riker and then she being the other thing? Like, if she threw him around.
Riker was just the closest one, I guess.
I know. But it's funny how the first pocket on this planet, it contains death poison. It's the only pocket in the entire planet. The only thing that's black as well. The only negative color, like of clothing, is death poison. Oh, didn't you
Area
feel...
50...
Oh, sorry.
Area 51 puts in $5 and says, sorry, I can't take you seriously as a cop wearing a getup like that. # justice.
Yeah. Well, less scantily clad than, you know, they got a belt.
Yeah.
Technically more clothing. Respect the clothing, respect the belt.
But I mean, if that's their uniform, as you said, when you see these guys in your area, you'd be like, okay, pretty clear. But I think if they beamed in or transported in or appeared,
that would have been much better.
Yeah.
Like, instantly. And then you're asking the question, are they on the space station? Does the space station in orbit, do they have some weird, like, you know...
Does it alert them somehow?
Are they robots? I mean, there's that I think would have been fun to have been more advanced. And another little note, didn't you think it was a bit funny, contextually, when you see Yar and Worf on the phasers? It's like, hold it there! Peaceful people that only like to have sex with no weapons. Stop! Or we'll shoot you! Don't come any closer! Or hurt us with your genitals. Like, it feels so over, even though the tedious little phases, it's like, stop there, unarmed, peaceful people, or we'll shoot. It's like, calm down. I understand why you're doing it, but it's just like...
To be fair, they both had a syringe. One was still holstered, but still.
Oh.
Oh.
But no, she didn't know it was a syringe until she looked a second later. She didn't know what they had in the syringe. But it was a syringe, so after that they put the weapons down.
Well, yeah, Riker asks, is this poison? Well, yeah, of course it is.
It's gonna kill you, yeah.
Yeah. All right, so next scene, we're back aboard the Enterprise. She's scanning him, you know. And I love when when the away team contacts them. Well, first of all, the thing detaches from him, but he's still unconscious. And then they reestablish communications with the planet. And I love how they say there's a problem with an away team member because they don't know, I guess, if Crusher's there or whatever. You know, it's just kind of a, you know, just in case, because you don't want a hysterical mother. I don't know. It was an interesting choice to say that.
Well, I'm just picturing if they'd said it's Wesley and Picard be like, the boy, I'm on my way. Like it, yeah.
There's a problem with the boy.
Wesley, kill him anyway. If I knew it was him, I wouldn't come down and help. Jesus.
Yeah.
Sorry, Doctor. Did to himself.
Yeah, but then Picard makes the decision. He's beaming down. Now I find this rather odd considering what just happened. You basically had an intruder aboard your ship that knocked out Data, your android. You're not sure whether that was a peaceful thing or not, whether it's malicious. You had no communication with your away team a minute ago. You got this mysterious ship or vessel or craft or whatever floating outside your ship.
Yep.
As a captain, just because you reestablish communications and you have a problem with an away member, don't you think that Riker could handle that? Why would the captain beam down? I think you should keep the captain on the ship, first officer on the planet. At least you got both bases covered then, because later Picard puts Data in charge of the ship, but he can't do that right now. So I don't know who's in charge while he's gone, but I just thought it was a very odd choice for him to just decide he's going down to the planet, just kind of on a whim. I understand it's a first contact situation, so the captain should be there if there's a problem with the away team. I kind of get that, but it just seemed a little out of place to me. But
I get that, and it's one of those things where I guess one of the entire cast in different locations, because it kind of feels like, a lot of people. Yeah, it's one of those sort of plot things that the plot knows that the space station isn't going to hurt them, so we can send Picard down. But I think about the situation, as you just said. He's got 1,000 people on this ship that we went through the shields. If they have weapons that can do that, you're all dead. But I'm going to worry about maybe an away team problem that you know nothing about. It's like, number one, you can handle that, can't you? Or, come up and tell me. So yes, it's a bit weird. This is why you kind of needed, both of them up here, or Riker could have been back and they could send Riker back down, or vice versa.
Or another line saying, Riker, can you have control of the situation? And Riker be like, it's a little bit of a delicate situation, sir. And then then Picard would be like, oh, okay, I'll beam down then.
Yeah. Or saying, no, Captain, this is life or death, and we need top brass. I can't make the decision for the crew. He's like, oh, that's serious? Yes, Captain, please. Yeah, I agree.
The first contact situation, we need the captain
with the
to be involved in this
society.
decision.
Yeah.
Wow.
But yeah, he does too calmly go down, considering what just happened.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, communication being reestablished. We're fine now.
But to be fair, they didn't try and contact the away team, so from their perspective, the away team's fine. They didn't know they'd lost contact. It's only after they got contact back, they're like, oh, they've been trying to contact us. That's weird, I think.
And I think they knew somehow, because there was a reestablished contact with the away team or something was said. But
anyway, we're back in the room with all the blonde people, all the blonde extras, and I love the tonal shift here. I legitimately love this, because this is when the episode takes that really serious dive, and even though this screenshot, has man nipples, weirdly blonde curly hair, lots of cleavage, lots of bellies, the genuine subject matter is very good Trek, in my opinion. And the way it's handled, the dialogue, the script, is so mature from this point onwards. I really enjoyed it. I was very actually impressed. Because these are good questions to be asked, and both sides are right, and that's hard to do. Especially when you start from such a silly place,
Yeah.
What did you think of the whole moral issue and the discussions?
Like I said, last review we did, where we're going to be talking about this one. This one frustrates me, because as a captain, I'd be like, there's no question, I'm bringing my person back. He didn't understand the rules. It's a stupid goddamn rule. You've killed some flowers. Who gives a shit? Yeah. I'm bringing my person back. I don't care what you guys think. The Prime Directive doesn't really apply, and that's thrown around a little bit in this episode. Like, he even says at one point, it's coming up soon, that when the Prime Directive was established, it wouldn't apply to situations like this. It wasn't meant to. I have it written down, but once we get there, where the hell is it? But yeah, it wasn't meant for this situation. But anyway, so yeah, this is where they say, we respect law and justice. Do you? And Picard's like, we do, very much. And then there's a whole conversation about capital punishment, whether you had it on your planet. We did at one point. Some people thought it was, what was required, blah, blah, blah. And then I love the snarky little response he gives. Oh, we're not as advanced as you. Why don't you use your superior powers to rescue the Wesley boy? Okay. Thank you for permission. Goodbye. That would be my response as captain. I'd be like, this is insanely stupid. I'm just leaving. Thank you.
But it doubles down on the stupidity. They're not following the Prime Directive. The fact that you shouldn't be here doing this. They're saying, you guys are more advanced than us. We can't even... You have to explain space travel. You have to change the language from not space to up above. I mean, basic stuff they don't understand. Clearly, this is not a culture you should be engaging with. And so when they say, you're more powerful, it's like, yeah, the hell are you here for?
You got nakedness.
Well, okay, true. What channel says the power of boners?
Yeah.
Am I Red Letter Media? Power of boners?
Yeah, I think so.
But I love his, like I say, yeah, I love the conversation. It's like, I mean, yeah, do you have laws? He's calling out Picard because, again, this is a weird perspective because it's not, because a lot of the time in TOS they're brainwashed into something and Kirk would undo that. But this one is interesting because it is just hundreds of years, one rule that was made by them. It's a very simple rule. You can't misunderstand it. You can't, it's not, it is what it is. and if you follow it, you don't ever die. You know, it's very simple, and they've had peace. So from their perspective, if no one ever breaks any law, they haven't killed. Like I would have loved it if they'd said, "Oh, we haven't killed anyone in 130 years," and you'd be like, "Oh, it's a perfect system." You know, I mean, it's worked for generations without a single death of millions of people. But then obviously Picard, they say, "Well, we had capital punishment years ago," and the obvious implication is that you're wrong to still do it. But obviously their society works absolutely flawlessly. Although I think there's some implication that the up above space station influences certain things. Is a vibe I get that,
and that's the overall thing here too. They're not sure what they can get away with because it did disable their communications. It did board their ship. Yeah. If they make the decision to just bugger off and not obey the law, are they going to get punished? And there's even talk about God punishing them later.
Yeah. And does the God creature even think those laws are just? Yeah. I mean, we don't know. It works for them. It doesn't mean it works for everyone else.
And there's 3 super chats. I'll get to those in just a second. I just want to quick summarize the scene real quick with my notes. So they have until sundown. They have their promise that they're not going to hurt Wesley until sundown, but that has to be done. There's a whole conversation about you saw God, you saw our God, because they were talking about the thing in orbit. And then Crusher communicates with Picard and says, "Picard, come in, CMO Crusher here." Chief Medical Officer Crusher. She says CMO Crusher. It's like, that is so weird and just wow. I mean, he's on an alien planet with the first contact protocol. Somebody really important is probably with him because of the situation, which he doesn't know what it is yet. But just CMO Crusher just sounded so odd. I had to point that out.
It's just as bad as Bill.
Yeah, well, yeah, exactly. And she notifies him that Data's returned to consciousness, and that's when Troy whispers, "Wesley, tell her about Wesley." And he's like, "All right, thank you, Doctor," and closes the communication. Says, "I want to speak to her personally about her son," which I agree with. It's not something you just do in a text message. Your son's gonna die. We're dealing with it. Bye. And then he's like, "I want you to come with me." Okay, yes, I'll go back with you as a hostage, in exchange for Wesley's safety. Line. It just perspective, right? It's like how they see the situation compared to what was intended. And text message is funny I said that because text message is a perfect example of that. Yeah. You can say something jokingly and it comes across totally different in a text message. It's just perspective and the fact that you're more advanced. Why don't you take them from us? Well, I want you to come with me. All right, fine. They want a hostage until, make sure Wesley's safe.
And I think that's good writing because it's the writer being so self-aware of how everyone thinks. To throw in a line like that that's so unnecessary, but it adds a little bit of texture. Because it makes Picard... Because the thing is, this whole scene, Picard's on the defense. I love that. They are saying, it's our law. You're here. And later on, I'll say it now, he says, well, we didn't invite you here.
Yeah.
You came to our planet because you did. The hell? You don't get to deny our rules that have actually been very useful, and often in these societies we see them as a problem because of reason, but this is relatively, clean-cut issue. Doesn't mean it's right, but it is clean-cut. Yeah. Although, for outsiders, I would do a different rule, but they're pre-warp. They don't have outsiders. They don't know.
Yeah. Yeah. So I'll get to those super chats right now because they beam up to the ship. At least 3 of them do. Jeff Jacobs puts in $1.99 and says, oh, hold on, there's one before that. Anyway, he says, "Hi guys, just wanted to say hi." Well, hello, Jeff.
Thanks, Jeff.
Gastero 1980 puts in $2. Hashtag man nipples. Hashtag justice.
Justice for Stuart's bladder.
Yeah, no shit. Tathel puts in $10 Canadian. Thank you very much. I always thought this episode was a good examination of what it's like dealing with a culture with an insane law. It looks dated now, though. Yeah, but the moral implications and the questions still are,
It's still well written for what it is. For what it is. That's an important distinction, but...
Yeah. And Fat Produce puts in $2. Stardate 215.6. We have arrived at the planet Beebs. Yes. And I got a scene of them transporting, just as they initiate transport. And if you look really closely, it's clear to see what that is. Those are fiber optics used in that effect. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's just fiber optic lights.
That's clever. Works. I mean, what do you want?
Well, in TOS, it was just Alka-Seltzer in a glass.
Yeah.
But I just wanted to point that out.
So back on the ship, and I just
and look at her hair here.
Yeah.
It looks more natural at the front. Sorry.
For this scene, I thought, wow, all the extras are in one place at the same time. Nice. And this is still the engineering corridor. Like they really are using this to make the nice big T corridor. But I thought, wow, all these extras in very complicated costumes, and here she is, cold, walking in nothing, with no bra or no underwear, walking through the set. It's like, oh, this is not as good. Like, if it's her planet, as in, everyone's wearing my costume, I only feel self-conscious, but I wouldn't want to be on this day. It's just like, doesn't quite fit in.
Yeah. And I love Dr. Crusher shows up. I just saw the away team report about Wesley. In a moment, Doctor. It's like, seriously? Are you kidding me right now? My son's about to die, and you're like shushing me.
But she needs to have a perspective on God and of the power, and it's an interesting commentary.
Yeah, their relationship is very interesting in season 1 for sure. Yeah. But yeah, that girl, her hair looks totally different at the front, and it's a lot thinner. It's not as thick. And yes, she's wearing shoes. Hellrats 96. They all are. They wear like a tan slip-on slipper almost. If you look at them running on the planet, they're all wearing them.
Yeah, there are some shoes.
Yeah. So then they go into one of the quarters, and she immediately gets done, and he's like, "Do you recognize that as God? And how do you recognize that as God?"
Yeah.
She says, "It's appeared before."
I like the leading question. It's not, what is that? It's God. It's like, is that your God? Yes. Leading question.
Why else am I kneeling down? And anyway, and then you get the whole "return my child."
Yep.
And there's a whole panic about beam her engine or transporter room now.
I can't see the effect, so I'm just gonna keep yelling until you do the effect, because I can't see it in real life. Oh no.
Yeah, and I love how he slaps his communicator badge on her.
And again, a lovely thought, although he doesn't say "lock onto my signal." Because how the hell do they know who to beam out? He just says "beam out." It's like,
well, it's him signaling, so they would assume it's him. I guess, I don't know.
Okay, I guess it would have been nice if he said "lock on my signal," but at least there's a lot. Like, I love that. They had to understand that straight from the get-go that combat is linked to a person. Blah blah blah.
Yeah.
I love how abrupt this is as well. It's actually quite interesting. Like, tonally, it's just interestingly played.
Yeah. And then they have their little talk in the hallway.
Without a combat, which is fun to see.
Yep. My son, he's gonna die, and if he was your son, and you'd feel important. This would be important. And he's like, I do feel that way.
I don't
know.
I was hoping in my brain, like, maybe retconning it back in, he's thinking, but it is my son.
Yeah, that's exactly what I thought.
Yeah, just the way it plays. Yeah. What a great reveal, though. No, Beverly, I am his father. Jack never told you what happened that night. It wasn't him. Jean-Luc, we were all drunk, okay? God damn it. Okay, I have a slight complaint here.
Okay.
Gates' acting in this entire worried mum is wonky to me. Because this is life or death. This is no power. This is awful. But she's got this strength of I've got a rank, and it's leading her to be very like a stoic concern, but she's not. For me, she's not balancing those two things. It feels very like I'm just sort of saying the lines, but I'm trying to keep most of it in. But it doesn't quite feel natural, and I just don't buy. Push any time she expresses emotion in these 3 scenes of being scared for Wesley, like it's just not. It doesn't hit the beats that I'm expecting in these moments. She just doesn't feel connected to it. Like she's like an actress. Sometimes you're pulling to a real trauma. Or a real, my mum almost died once. I'm pulling from that, but I feel like she's had no death in her life. She's just saying something.
Yeah, I want to. Necroglobule says at Alex Utopia. He's not in Starfleet. He isn't even an acting ensign at this point. Yes, he is.
Yep.
He's been an acting ensign for 2 episodes now, or 3 episodes.
No.
So
this will be the second. I think we got it either last week or the last episode, the one before. Yeah, one before.
It was the one before. Yes. This is the second episode where he's an acting ensign. Necroglobule. Just want to point that out. Yeah. He's not wearing a uniform, but
he's... a uniform.
Yeah. But he is an acting ensign, so he is in Starfleet technically. So yes.
Yeah.
Data is awake, and it's lucky they chose me. Well, maybe it wasn't. It's not that easy of a communication. They stopped short of overloading my circuitry, and Picard's like, "You said they."
Yeah.
Is that a vessel of some sort? Not exactly. They were in several places at once, and they think the entire star cluster is theirs. And then he goes on to babble a bit, and Picard's like, "Data, don't babble." And then, of course, the next question, he just answers it and then looks straight ahead. And it's like, you can feel free to offer important information, you dumbass. And so it's kind of like sometimes Sylvia, when we have friends over, she talks a little too much sometimes. And I'm like, just don't talk so much. And she gets the same way. She gets kind of snippy. So.
Yeah. I actually love the performance. My note here and for that scene too is Picard is excellent, Data is excellent. The acting on both of them is just stellar, and they're so close to what they're going to become. You buy into the route. You buy into people saying, "Oh, Picard is really a dick in the first season. He's not good towards people. He's mean all the time. He's not really got himself." No, Stewart is really good at this role. Really good at this role. He's got it right down pat. He might not have the nuance of who the Picard character is, but he is working these lines believable. And Data, he might be a bit too emotional, but he again, Brent knows how to play this character already really well. If you took out a few of the little moments of not quite season 1 him, you would think this is season 3 him, season 4 him, and this scene's a great scene. It's fun, it's weirdly lighthearted for this episode, given how we're in a life or death situation right now, and yet they talk about babbling, but somehow it doesn't feel out of place. I think that's because when he noted a minute ago that Picard dismisses Beverly, he's, I guess, so confident he's going to help that he's not quite in the same panic, and so he feels okay to deal with one situation at a time.
Yeah.
Because of the commanding nature of Picard, you don't think, why is he jibber jabbing with his Data android while the kid might die? But it actually somehow totally still connects. I was quite surprised by it, honestly.
Yeah. Well, here we find out that they're curious about us. They know everything that I know, though.
Well, that was a scary moment. It's like, so you know how to kill Earthlings. So
That's good, though. That's good that they have all of his knowledge, because he knows all Starfleet's history, their precedents for the Prime Directive and how they treat. So that's a good thing, I would think. If I was a captain and I heard they knew everything that Data knew, I'd be like, okay, that's good. But it's maybe a case of them judging us by our own rules.
Yes.
And what if we break the Prime Directive, Data, to get Wesley back? Well, it could be considered deceitful and untrustworthy, and they might not. But if they know everything he knows, they would know that this is one of those exceptions to the rule. As a rule, Starfleet is very much, on the level. So I don't. And then she freaks out like, "Oh, you got." It's like, yeah, I get you're frustrated, but it wasn't greatly acted. And then the next scene is awesome because he's just staring out the window at this thing, which I think are his quarters, even though they haven't really been fleshed out as his quarters yet, because they look very skimpy compared to what they are later.
Yeah.
But he calls Data in. He says, "Let's talk, Data. I need a good interesting perspective. Sorry, I said that you babble.
It's nice.
And this is where he says, I don't think the Prime Directive ever intended this. And he's absolutely right. It's one of those situations that needs kind of a revision.
well, yeah, but you shouldn't be this planet anyway. But well, actually, a great example, actually, although it's paralleling another parallel, in Orville, because you're born on the wrong star sign of the month,
Jeliac,
you're therefore a criminal, and all that stuff. You're a violent criminal. We walked in and be like, no, that's ridiculous. We're not gonna obviously abide by that. But then it's their culture. They're wrong, but it's their culture. Are we right to stop their culture? No. But if it's a blatantly wrong thing, like if it was to kill Jeliacs, then obviously you can't let them kill two people for no reason, even if they've got a reason. So I appreciate that Picard I think his mind is made up very early on, but he's trying to like find an alternate. That's why he's so resolute. He's like, no, I'm not gonna let him kill Wesley. Can I think of another way out? Can I get away with it with a creature? That's the real choice.
Yeah.
But it's like, it's a stupid rule, so we're not going to let Wesley die for a stupid rule.
If you remember when we looked at that episode of Orville, I compared it to this, and I said how frustrating it was, like that thought process to me. As a captain, there would be no question I would go in and save my people. I honestly don't give a shit about any of your planet's rules or our Prime Directive. I'm going to keep my people safe, get them on board where they are safe, and then work it out, because...
Well, yes. Now, if Wesley was Worf, and if Worf killed a guy, now that is then a crime relatable, very simple. He killed a native for a poor reason, you know?
Well, okay.
Now it's a thing.
Yeah, and you gotta... At the border, I watch the border show. I forget what it's called offhand now, but when somebody's coming into your country and they have a criminal record, you equate their crimes from their country to your crimes to see whether they're equal and whether they should be denied access or not. You can't equate the crime of falling on flowers with something that equals the death penalty. It has to be equal. It can't be like, oh, you shoplifted a candy bar 20 years ago, you can't come into our country because that's grand theft. It's like that's a totally different law. It doesn't equate to your justice system or your penal code. So why would this be any different?
Yep. It's like you steal a loaf of bread and you get stoned to death. It's like, I mean, no. It's
Fat Produce puts in $1. Thank you very much.
$1.
And Paw Swiftback puts in $2.99 and says 100 reactions. Pay again at 150. Hashtag justice. Hashtag like spiky. Oh my god.
Click that like button.
All right.
And where was the comment? Yeah, G. Sturl 1980. Isn't beaming down in the first place a violation of Prime Directive? Yes. And Dan 23 does say, broke their property by breaking the greenhouse. They could just make him a new greenhouse. I mean...
Actually, if you listen to the dialogue, it's because they were young plants. They were seedlings.
Yes. Well,
so it had nothing to do with the structure. Right. It was because of the plants.
And the bar. Just don't cross the bar ever. It's like a thing within the thing. But yeah, so I love the acting in this scene. It's really strong. This is I said out loud, this is good Star Trek. Two good characters, well acted, in a room, sitting down, chatting with a good script. Doesn't need fancy stuff, doesn't need actions, explosions. This scene is better than any scene in Discovery Season 2 episode final one. Thoughtful, interesting, rational, it's just better. It's great. And I love, still no comm badge. They didn't think about that, because at default, you wear them every day. So I appreciate they kept that no comm badge continuity. I like that.
Yeah, and sometimes you see mistakes in that regard, but this is spot on for that, so that's good.
Crusher comes in.
We get the conversation first of they have evolved. They used to be much like us.
That was interesting.
And then, I got to point out something here when Crusher walks in. You notice there's a lady behind her?
Yep.
And she's walking towards the windows. Look at the slope of those windows. That's the outer rim of the ship. Where's she walking to?
Well, it's probably... Well, there might be another door to a different quarter.
There might be. I don't think this is the captain's quarters, by the way, because earlier they said you have to go to the starboard side of the ship. Take her to the starboard side of the ship or something. So I don't think these are the captain.
Well,
but anyway,
to be fair,
I just thought it was funny that there's this lady walking by into basically nothingness.
To be fair, if he wants to see the ship, he'll go to random quarters that aren't occupied to see the there could be ambassadorial quarters on deck C that sees it.
And as we know from our Galaxy class episode, there's lots of unused space on this ship. Yeah. On a regular basis, a lot of empty quarters. So
I mean, they literally just said they helped colonize a planet. So they probably have dozens of crew quarters available that were just used and now free. Just how else would you put them in there? So Crusher comes in. She's like, John Luke, and he's like, nope, I won't let them kill him.
No matter the cost, I will not let them execute your son, and that puts her at ease.
And permission to come down. Yes, we're going down right now. I love his proactive. I love his vibe. Again, it's so commanding, so strong, but he doesn't like that he's doing this, but total control,
Yeah. Fat Produce puts in $2. Picard's best point talking with Data was #justice. Yeah, the justice thing's coming up in a second. So they beam down to the planet. And the lady had already beamed down a while ago, so she's probably talked to everybody down there. Yeah. And this is where she's like, you hang out with God. You must be a god. And she hands him his communicator back, which is cool. He just pushes it on. Yeah. Crooked, but that's all right. I always look for that every time it's crooked or misaligned, or they just randomly throw it on.
They took the Velcro off, and it's just presumably double-sided sellotape, and so it's kind of like, just put it there, and then...
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
And then they're making the point, don't do this to us, because, once you break our law, it's going to make our civilization go to shit, because everybody's going to start doing it. And then they bring in Wesley, and this is funny. Wesley pipes up, and Picard's like, you're not involved in this decision, boy. I'm like, really? And that's when Wesley's like, with all due respect, sir, I think I am.
I'm also an acting ensign, so you gave me power to be on the bridge and engineering room and be at helm. I can fly your damn ship, sir. I think I can express my opinion when my own life is at stake, bitch.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a silly comedy. That's non-self-aware script writing.
This is where Wesley's like, if it's going to affect other things, I'm willing to stay and face the music.
The space station upstairs might kill everyone else, so I think I have a right to choose. Yeah. Well, then it's very quickly abandoned. He's like, no, we're leaving. It's like, oh, okay. I guess that was an unnecessary few seconds of talking, and then nice reunion. The guys again like, don't do this. He's like, we've got to, and then they beam away, and it's they don't beam away.
I make a note of justice for all because somebody says there's justice for all in this answer. Energize.
And this is where you have we did not ask you to come here. I love that line. It's a good line.
Yeah, I just love the whole energize. Oh, we look like idiots now.
Yep.
Hello, energize. And then he didn't know he was breaking the law. Well, ignorance of the law cannot become a defense. And then get in the Picard speech of there can be no justice as long as laws are absolute.
And then Riker says the wonderful line, when has justice ever been as simple as a rule book? And that's what convinces God. What does God need with stopping a transporter beam? They beam up. And my note here was quick, bittersweet end. Because it's very abrupt. Like, it's very, quick, but it's so tangibly bittersweet. I love it. Like, it's really interesting.
And good old gamer in the chat says, has he flown the ship yet? Yes, Wesley has flown the ship.
maybe not into a battle or at warp, but I mean, he's been there as standby pilot when they've been, he's been at that station, so.
And Red Palace puts in $10. Thank you very much. It has become one of my favorite things to listen to at the plant. My favorite episode so far was the Vorcha class piece. Thank you. Well, thank you. We appreciate the people that appreciate us.
Thank you so much, Red Palace. I mean, you can listen to us literally for months. We've got so much content, and but on a certain point, we're all very proud of all of it. So very happy that you enjoyed it, and thank you. Oh, and a PayPal as well. Let me check that for you.
Yes. While you're doing that, I'm just gonna. So they beam back up to the ship finally, and where are we here? Again, it's kind of a quick wrap up to the episode, unfortunately, but they make a point of saying to the god entity, whatever, we're going to remove the colonists from the other planet. Can you please give us a signal?
Yeah.
And then it just fades out. It's like, was that the signal, sir? I don't know. It was kind of a thing that happened, so maybe a signal.
Well, I took it as a non-signal. Like, nope, that's fine. We'll just leave now. I took it as a non-signal personally.
Yeah.
Yes, but we got 10 Canadian dollars from Ian Warrender, regular. Thanks so much. With a long comment. Now, I don't mind this episode. I can see the intent they were going for. The ending just feels a bit forced, as if they didn't know how to end it. I wish that more were done with the advanced race of the week. If humans are heading to a higher evolution, as Trek appears to indicate, relationships with these races would be beneficial.
Yeah. Well, as we said, it did feel rushed at the end, and it was it the correct decision? Because they did kind of leave it like, there's no real resolution, to be honest. They took their people back. They violated their law. Nah.
But the thing is, that's why I think it's so good the way it is. Like I said, quick, bittersweet, can't look back. That's it. It's as they're never going to go back to that planet. They all feel shit. This sucks. We just gotta leave. I like, me and pacing. I have a thing about pacing and good pacing. I think it works surprisingly cleverly, just this time.
Yeah.
And there you go. They warp away with the same. Well, go away with the exact same model shot they use every other time. And now we're back at the start, and we'll just scroll through as we talk. So there you go, Justice, one of the least highly thought episodes in all of Star Trek. Your now more detailed, fully thought review. Has it changed? Good on conversation, and
It's definitely moved up in my eyes. I mean, when you compare it to all of TNG, it's not one of the ones on the top 20 list that I'd watch. Yeah. But it's very Star Trek. It feels Star Trek. Has that Gene Roddenberry touch, but not the over campy that we've seen in a couple other episodes. So I really love that. I love seeing the space station or whatever that was.
Good design.
The vessel, yeah, cool design. Not really there, but kind of there. And half naked people, you can't go wrong, right? So, and again, not as Wesley centric as I thought. Just when you first think of this episode, you're like, oh yeah, it's the Wesley Crusher one. It's, you can kind of brush it off as that, but there's more to it, and I really have a better appreciation for it. So as far as all of TNG goes, I'm going to have to give this one a 5.5, maybe a 6. It's watchable. It's not bad. It's one that I will watch if it's on. As far as season 1 goes, I'm going to have to give it probably 7.5. Better than I thought going into it, for sure.
Yeah, it's a weird one. And guys, you can now start putting your rating in the comments down in the description, super chat thing. Put what you thought out of 10. Start putting it now while I give mine. I'm looking back at the past episodes, right? This episode, better than Encounter at Farpoint. Yeah, fair enough to say.
I don't know. You cut out. All I heard was
sorry. This episode,
Farpoint.
This episode, better than Encounter at Farpoint, right? Fair to say.
Yeah.
Better than Naked Now.
No, it's on par with Naked Now for me. They're about equal.
Better than Code of Honor.
Yes.
Better than Last Outpost.
Yes, slightly.
Better than last week's Lonely Among Us.
Yes.
So straight away, that's now, for you, it's joint first and or second. So already it's now the best one of season 1 if we're looking at the stuff we had so far. Oh, and Where No Man's Gone Before, possibly better, but I think is more interesting than that one.
I think Where No Man's Gone Before is better for sure. Yeah.
Better. I think this is more interesting morally. Like the script's better here because it's actually a natural issue. This asks a better question. Where No One is more just visuals with a bit of a thing. I think this one, if like I say, if the first 10 minutes wasn't a horn dog Roddenberry, this would be one of the standouts for season 1 with a moral issue, and the costume was a bit more whatevered. Like it's only the things that stand out. It's like the problem elements are but the good stuff is really good.
Yeah.
You know, so I think this is definitely one of the best ones, second half wise in series 1. It's got to be. It does the other stuff. It doesn't. It's not so much the stuff's bad. Again, half naked, whatever. It's more just cringe. It's not bad. It's not played disrespectfully. It's just out of place. You know.
Mm-hmm.
It's not bad. So all of TNG, I'll agree, a 5. It's on the higher end of average. You know, like I say, just watch that last 20 minutes is really solid. I agree. I said 7.5 for TNG season 1. I think this is right up there, probably top 5, top 10.
So far.
Well, yeah. But we'll see. I'm excited to go back and do a post show about the entire season at the end of the season and go back and what were our scores, so I can say we don't remember as we go. So what were our top 22 episodes in order? What was our worst reviewed? I think it'll be really interesting where our lists, whatever. But this is definitely better than I thought. I think the scripting was right on point after you get past the first 10 minutes. And I enjoyed it. I have almost 2.5 pages of notes.
Mm-hmm.
And this is definitely better than Code of Honor. And I think, holds up surprisingly well. Good credit.
Yeah, I didn't think we'd be talking about it very much, but...
Well, you made that joke in your thing. Oh, this one. And we've had a really strong conversation with very few complaints. Honestly, I've been surprised, you know. So you read the super chats and I'll read out the people's ratings.
Okay. Well, Giester L1980 puts in $2.
Thank you.
There is no justice without a drink. #justice. Still got some drink left. Fleet Pass Whipback puts in $1.99. TNG 6.5 out of 10. All of Trek 5 out of 10. So I'm mirroring mine a little bit lower on the TNG scale, but that's okay. #justice. Hashtag half naked people. All right. Fat Produce puts in $2. Season 1 7.5 for TNG, and a total 6 because of the ending. So a total of all of Trek, I think.
I would still just all of Trek is just all of TNG Trek because all of Trek is so broad.
Yeah. Well, and it's also different.
Yeah.
Steven puts in $2.
Hi, Steven.
6 out of 10 for TNG and a 5 out of 10 for Trek. So for, I think, okay. #justice. Side boob. Boob.
And then some non-super chat reviews. Hawkins, I give it a 10 just because of all of Tefan TNA. Species 1571 a 3. Devo 77 a 7 out of 10. Tenzagari 8 out of 10. Dev maybe 6. 7 out of 10 again. 4 out of 10. 4 out of 10. Women 10 out of 10. 8 out of 10 Girl Gamer, but 10 out of 10 for the stream. Thank you, very kind. And then a very important question to Captain says, churning.
I was just going to read that actually. Very important question to the Captain. If you would have to sleep in the same sleeping bag as Rich Evans from Red Letter Media, would you be the big or little spoon? Always the big spoon, my friend.
But what if Macaulay Culkin also joined you? Where would you be in the spoon sandwich? Serious question, come on.
Macaulay Culkin would be the bread or the meat in that sandwich, I think.
Okay.
But yeah, I would. Yeah, that's just disgusting.
Go watch the last episode of Red Letter Media's Wheel of the Worst for the reference to that. It's dumb, but it's good times.
Oh, Fat Produce, but oh no, never mind. That's an old one. Sorry.
So yeah, we made it. Almost the full 2 hours, which is we don't always do with TNG season 1.
Especially an episode that we went into thinking,
Yep.
meh.
Which I think helped, though. I think the stigma helped.
We're gonna find that a lot, I think. But then again, later they become so textured and layered. 2 hours might not be enough to discuss some of these episodes.
Possibly. But it's interesting because a lot of, again, we'll talk about Discovery again for a second, is that people saying, oh, well, it's better than TNG season 1. I'm thinking Discovery season 1 had some garbage scripts. Just garbage. This is a good script. Again, beyond some 80s, shouldn't probably have done that naivete. The end 30 minutes is damn good script. Better than any, possibly any script in season 1 of Discovery. It's like, this is a thought through, clever, intelligent piece. You're calling out season 1 for some shit, but like, yeah, but they had some scripts that had some real issues.
Yeah.
What does Discovery have? Two Klingon dicks and eating the captain. Just, some really not as cool stuff. But it's interesting. That new perspective. I like my cerebral Trek. I like my thoughtful, well thought out Trek. I do.
Yeah. I'd like to thank everybody that came too, based on my comments on Facebook, where I was like, "Yeah, this is show up to change my mind," because this was one that I had firmly planted in my mind I wasn't going to like. I was going to score low because Wesley, and it's just a whiny Wesley episode, but he was barely in it, and when he was in it, he was actually pretty good. I think he, so thank you everybody for showing up and changing my mind.
And it makes me laugh that you judge it just because of Wesley.
Hey. I'm a judgy kind of person. Fleet Pass Swiftback puts in $9.99. Wow, thank you very much,
dude.
Take $9.99 to never mention that again. Laughing my sauce. I spat hot coffee out of my nose. Hashtag justice. Hashtag my nose is now burnt. Hashtag boozy like Spike. Never mention what again?
Yeah, I don't know what the comment was in reference
to. Always the bigger spoon. Always.
Oh. Yeah.
See, North America, got America on the bottom, Canada on top. Canada's on top. Just saying. It's like being in prison. The one on top's in charge.
So final 5 minutes, guys. Please do let us know what you think. Final super chat, who wants to be that guy. And the next episode, I have fond memories of.
And we only have one thumbnail left, Samuel. And it's the battle, isn't it?
Yes.
Didn't even look.
Brand new ship, the Constellation, was meant to be the Constitution, with a redress of a set. The Ferengi again, the ultimate villains of Trek. But we have our first new ship design. Will we do an episode on it? I wonder. Wouldn't that be hilarious?
Yes.
When we go to the Constellation episode, like celebrate the new episode, like, guys, it's 1987. We've got a new ship. Let's analyze it.
Like when we first saw the Shinjo, the wireframe, we're like, we got a new ship. Yeah.
That's my quote. That's on TV.
I know it is. I know it is. I watched it so many times. We got a new ship. We got a new ship. Michael Callane puts in $2.99 Australian.
Oh, okay.
Trekyards for breakfast again. Thanks. Well, glad you could join us. Hope you had a good breakfast. Hope we made it better.
Hopefully. And
not
Tim,
bitter.
Again, points me to the PayPal. You guys are phenomenal. 2 Canadian, which is awesome. Let me have a look. No comment, but thank you so much. And it's nice. It is sort of random PayPal because it really does all add up. And yeah, because I'm looking and there's quite a few in the last 2 weeks. And it's like, yeah, it really mounts up and it makes things a bit easier in a few ways.
Mm-hmm. Especially for some plans we have coming up, which, like you said, within the next week or so, hopefully you'll know about. Yeah. We've been kind of teasing and hinting at it for a while, but we really need to get on things. So
yeah, even if we just do an announcement stream and then we're launching it in 48 hours so people can prepare.
Well, that's a hint right there, launching it.
It could be a shirt line. It could be a ship design.
We've built a full-scale enterprise. I might as well know. It's in dry dock.
Built a full-scale dry dock too. Sorry, that's not as important though.
Well, the dry dock, yeah, that was
easy after the trip.
That's old news, yeah. So we're going to be officially launching it. We're going to be looking for crew to, fill all the roster, and you guys will be able to jump on board, and we'll go on a nice cruise around the solar system.
Yep.
And do some exploration.
I mean, Rick Sternbach, he's one of our engineers. Awesome. Andrew Probert, Doug is one of our
he's a morale officer.
He's a cocktail mixer in the bar. He didn't want art anymore. He just wanted to have fun, And he also runs the gym. He runs the gym, the barber, and the bar. Busy man, but he's boundless energy.
He runs the Damn It Gym. Damn it, Jim! This is a gym, not a quote from a favorite sci-fi franchise.
Yes, Stuart.
And John Eves, he's supposed to be on board, but very likely he'll cancel because he's busy. But that's a shame.
Yeah.
Fat Produce puts in $2. Thanks, y'all. Seriously, y'all are the best. Well, thank you very much.
You guys make it happen. Without you, we wouldn't feel comfortable to do this, and we've had a lot of fun doing these. And like we
these
said,
have been awesome.
It's fun. I think we find more to talk about than we thought, which is really rewarding. And these allow us to keep going until the new Trek shows, which help us going even more. There's so many things we want to do, and these are a way of doing it, and everyone's having fun.
Yeah,
it's awesome.
And Gestrel 1980, I never know how to say your name, puts in $2. Yellow alert, new ship, new old ship, I guess, but yes, new ship.
I always think it'd be worth filming like a fake new Trekyards as if it's a new analysis. It's like, hey guys, it's 1982, and made like a.
Well, we should do 1982 graphics and little scratches on the.
Do it in 4:3
VHS quality. Yeah.
That'd be kind of fun. And we should both
well,
wear
we
our
kind of
oldest.
did that with our April Fool's one year with the JJ Trek.
And we should both wear full suits. What do you wear for a telly program? You wear suits. I mean, you're presenters.
I would wear something 1980s. I'd wear something like a neon headband and
Okay, I'll wear the suit. I'll
feather my hair.
Okay, that could be fun actually. I mean, I couldn't. I would still do renders, but I'd make them grainy as hell. Just really grainy. It's 80% grain. We were sent these press images from CBS. What's our first thoughts after seeing them last week on TNG episode and put up a newspaper? The battle.
And seeing this high quality render or picture they sent us. Look at the quality of that. That's amazing.
We scanned it in via our
scanner.
Well, no, not our scanner, but the local print store. We had to go in and wait in a queue, and they scanned it onto a laser disc.
Jesus Christ! No, a 3.5 floppy, 3.5 inch. Floppy.
No, I don't think they existed yet.
The 80s? I don't. That was 82? Probably not. I don't know.
Well, this was late 8.
I would say mid 80s they were around because every villain on Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles and whatever could destroy the world with the contents of a floppy disk. You know how it is. You got to get that floppy disk back.
I think I read floppies been around for a long time, but they weren't used big. Yeah.
Not the floppies, the big floppies, the 9-inch floppies.
Oh yeah.
The Commodore 64.
Yeah.
Yeah. No One Special or Number One Special puts in $5. With Cap's theory with the U.S., what is Scotland and England a power bottom?
I don't want to talk about it.
See, Ian Warner puts in £2. Why is my shirt red? Multiple reasons. You have a nosebleed. You just had a hot dog and you were hitting the ketchup bottle and it splattered everywhere. I don't know. Why is your shirt red? Just don't die.
So the first floppy disk drive was invented in 1967.
Yes.
And the first commercial 8-inch floppy disks called diskettes, which then evolved into 5.2-inch, and then they became personal computers by 1981. So yeah, if we had floppies, I still have some. Yeah, I mean, do you have?
I got a whole bin of floppies with stuff on them still that I need to get rid of because I can't use them for anything. But they got all my old pictures on them.
Oh, I'm just going off headphones. That's fine. One old drawer. Let's see if I've still got.
I am excited to see my favorite Century ship classes, the Constellation class. Hashtag justice. Fat produce. He didn't super chat it, so I'm not going to drink. Plus, I think I'm out of drink. No, I got a little bit left. The Constellation class is so underrated. If you haven't, by the way, guys, if you're here and you're talking about the Constellation class, we've done episodes on it. Just type in Constellation class Trekyards in the YouTube search bar, and you'll find all the stuff we've done on it. The hell is he doing?
Success, Stuart. I know
That's-
exactly where a floppy disk was in my house.
Well, I know where multiple are. Mine, they're just right over there.
How great is that? Like, I know obviously you're older than me, but like, if you ask anyone under a
See it,
certain
see
age,
it.
where's your local floppy disk?
That's not a floppy disk. That's a 3D printed save icon.
No.
Oh, it's a fancy one.
I used to do it all the time. So it says, and this is a, I have a weird bit of time. Jesus Christ. It's all on here. Samuel's floppy disk for schoolwork, Tommy Upper School / Lewis form, and then in reverse it says Samuel's Stargate documentary or documents.
Nice.
So I got Stargate on a floppy disk.
Morden, sorry. Morden is alive says I got a floppy, but it doesn't go into disk drives. That reminds me of an old birthday card that I remember from the 80s. It said, I loaded all the information about you into my computer, and it turned my floppy drive hard. Yeah. Yep. Sorry.
Oh yeah.
We should go through my 3.5 inch and see what the titles are, because there's some that would be shocking to people, I'm sure.
But I'll tell a little story about this, because I'm 26 now, just had a birthday, and we didn't have much money when I was younger, so this was like, you can now take things to school. And again, you're older than me, so that's weird, different context. But I remember CDs were a thing, but it was too expensive because every CD was only a write once. So we didn't feel rich enough to buy a CD to then write one document on. Like, it was just a waste. Whereas these were like infinite redos, and they could store 5 or 6 documents, so it's fine. That's all you need really, Word documents. And even though it was like 2000s, I was in school, and it was my third school, so my upper school, so I was of certain teenage years. I remember there's one PC left in the library's computer room that had a floppy disk drive, and so I would go to that one place because we still had a 98 or 2000 that had a floppy because Dad used them all the way until he was forced not to use them. And so I literally was like the kid in school that would take a floppy disk and use it as data storage. So I'm still using the old medium when they were definitely not a thing. Then we had laptops more, or like a 100 megabyte USB or something. Like, I think I did use CDs for a bit. I think we sort of skipped until I think I emailed it to myself. I think that's how I fixed that problem, because it's like this or email. Just email it to yourself.
Yeah.
And then I could, but that'd be fun. So if we did like a 1980s 4x3, hey Stuart, I've got the new renders. I got the new still images. I'll sell a floppy disk.
Straight from CBS. Look at the quality of these. Very little grain. Grainy as hell.
Very little grain. It's all grain.
Yeah.
That'd be fun. Like, that's a stupid thing to do, but I bet it'd get some views. Because I think I can't act, but I can fake my brain. So like, how would we analyze it from a genuine first reaction 1980s? There's only 4 ships in existence.
Yeah.
These are the 4 ships. This is the 5th ship. Stuart, we have a 5th ship. A 5th ship.
It's
got 4. Stuart, 4 nacelles. 4.
And Steven says zip drives. I also have zip drives. I have a zip drive and a bunch of zip disks.
Don't know what that is. That's unknown to me.
Yeah.
Yes, so guys, last super chat. We'll talk for another minute. And who wants to be the last super chat? They can win. Boom, chicka, boom.
They can win.
I don't know.
There it is. Fleet Pass Swiftback. $1.99. I still remember 128 megabyte thumb drives. $99 for my first one.
Oh.
Yeah, I remember Bill Gates saying 64 megabytes is more than anybody should ever need. So, there's that.
My old computer store chap, his name was Lorenzo, and he was a really nice Italian guy that working computers for a long time, and he died of a of cancer recently, like to the point where he was fine 1 week, died the next. I just seen him 2 weeks before that. It was like,
That's crazy.
yeah. I used to have a WhatsApp from him like 2 weeks beforehand, you know. And we talked every time because he's a nice guy, and he said he was at that point. He literally was he was chosen because of the way he was in a business. He was someone that hand delivered the first hard drive with the biggest space ever. He hand delivered it from the company that made it to like the equivalent of the Microsoft at the time, and this was like, I am now giving you a 100 megabyte hard drive. This cost like $70,000, $200,000. You know, I've taken it across the country in America to be safe, and he was trusted with one of the first like consumer for companies' hard drives, and that was like a big deal. And then he was like, and now pulled out USB in his pocket. This is like,
yeah,
I was there at the first one. Now
this,
yeah.
Here's a 3. Well,
my phone has a 128 gig SD because I wanted to put as much memory on, so I've got 250 gigs on this, and I love that. I love that as a concept.
Yes. Anyway, Fat Produce says y'all should do, or puts in $2, thank you, and says y'all should do a Trek game stream sometime.
Yeah.
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 Totally down for it.
I mean, I think we've been proving that these live streams are a good idea, but it's different when like we all can relate to an episode of Trek versus a game, because if we only get like 50 people, it's just not worth doing. These are that line of worth doing, but also we quite enjoy them. So hey, if you guys turn up, you know, if you want to see me and the captain fight, then maybe.
But here's a 256 gigabyte USB drive.
Ooh, very nice.
It's got all the Trekyards goodness on it for when I go away, all the prints, and
yes,
still not even a fraction of it used, but that's okay.
Very nice.
Anyway, guys.
Yes.
Thank you, Fat Produce, for being the last super chat, and thank you everybody that super chatted, everybody that joined us. It's awesome. You guys are amazing. We always have our regulars, and that's cool.
Super
and
cool.
I'm looking forward to doing more. Sunday, we're going to be having at some point, keep an eye on the Trekyards Facebook page for the time, but we'll be doing our birthday one then.
Yes.
Show off all the goodies we got for our birthdays and get drunk.
But obviously, given time zones, I mean, I can't do it too late, otherwise I get really sleepy. So
Yes.
for LA, it might be like 10 in the morning. We're getting drunk. You know what I mean? It might be something stupid, but you know, we'll see. Time zones. If you want.
And then next week, of course, we'll have more
of these episodes.
TNG reviews. Yes.
Very excited. All right, guys. Thanks so much. Stuart, say bye, Stuart.
Bye, Stuart.
Wait for a good pitch to end on. Okay. Bye.